All right, we're gonna ignore the mess. I actually spent time this last weekend rearranging and like putting all of the Switch games away and putting all of the PlayStation 5 games away. But then you know what happened? More games came! It's never ending! Anyway, Spooktober. What am I playing? So I got a really special one this week that I played. It's Carrion by Devolver Digital. It's actually, the studio is Phobia Game Studios. This is my collector's edition. 863 out of 6,250. I actually got this a couple years ago, and it sat there. I haven't played it because I get busy and I play other things and I forget. But I finally put it in and I played it and I beat it. And here's my thoughts. Carrion is a Metroidvania developed by Phobia Game Studio and published by Devolver Digital. The people behind the game were also the ones who made Butcher, which was a great little shooter and a game I encouraged people to check out. In Carrion, you play as a goopy, flesh creature being studied by some secretive research facility literally underground. The game begins with you escaping from the chamber holding you and devouring... No, not devouring, that's not quite right. Absorbing the scientists studying you. Your ultimate goal is to escape the research facility, absorbing as many people as possible. Alright, I'll admit it, this might be a stretch to include in Spooktober. But there's logic behind my decision to include it, so hear me out. Carrion is reverse horror. It's got all the elements of a horror story. There's a malevolent monster being imprisoned and studied by scientists overconfident in the containment systems in their lab. The monster escapes and people start dying. But the difference is that instead of focusing on the plight of the humans this monster is terrorizing, the focus is on the monster itself. So yes, I think it fits in Spooktober, even if the emphasis is on the terror itself. The game is a Metroidvania, like I said, with all the hallmarks of that genre. You frequently encounter obstacles preventing you from proceeding and have to go find ways to eliminate the obstacle. You'll absorb other specimens in the lab, gaining their abilities and gaining new ways to progress through the facility. You'll gain the ability to turn invisible and move undetected for short periods of time. You'll learn how to harden your form to prevent explosions from destroying you. You'll gain several levels of attacks which can be used to break and remove barriers. Beyond gating your movement through necessary abilities, there are other ways the Metroidvania level design plays out. Sometimes your size is an issue, and you need to deposit some of your mass before proceeding, while having to manage with reduced health and attack power. Other times, your general bulk is an issue, and you'll need to break apart temporarily to squeeze through grates. If I had any complaint about Carrion, it's that the level layout can be confusing. I felt like I was constantly lost, without any clear direction where I needed to go next. There's no map in the game, so it's all about memorizing landmarks and remembering where you previously encountered a certain barrier that you now can destroy. I found that I wound up having to backtrack quite a bit, and spent a lot of time just wandering around, hoping I'd stumble onto what I needed to do next. All of this meandering while lost made the game feel longer than it actually was, but not necessarily in a good way. It really just felt like sometimes the game was wasting my time. A simple map would have solved this irritant entirely. But aside from that complaint, I really enjoyed my time with Carrion. It's a game that I enthusiastically recommend. It's available on pretty much every platform, so go check it out.
You know, I just noticed, it's embossed. It's like the letters are raised. And it's just the letters. Nothing else is raised. It's almost too subtle. Like, I've had this, it's been on my shelf for like 2 years, and I've taken it off, you know, periodically and messed with it and not actually played it, and I never noticed. It's way too subtle. It's too subtle. Anyway, Carrion's a great game, and I recommend it. I'm very eagerly awaiting Carrion 2, which was recently announced. Which, don't watch the Carrion 2 trailer, teaser, if you haven't played the first one, because there's a pretty heavy spoiler in that video of the first game. But yeah, it's real fun. I recommend it. Anyway, see ya.